Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sim Rally Masters draft day for Season 3 of the Sim Rally Masters. Season 3 featuring Group A, 1987 to 1993. Our third season. Unbelievable. A year ago, we were already into Season 1, but preparing for Season 1, it was a big journey into the unknown for us. And we're here at Season 3, and we've still got near 100 people taking part in our league. So it's fantastic. Yeah, welcome along tonight, everyone. Live on Twitch, and it's going to be uploaded to YouTube almost immediately after this live stream is over. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We've got 30 viewers at the moment, which is very, very good. And I'm just going to say right off the bat, anyone who watches the channel regularly, I apologise for not streaming on Sunday my participation in the pre-season rallies. It's because I got home very, very late on the Sunday, so it was really bad timing on that sound then, wasn't it? But thank you for the follow. We'll go through them very shortly. I will just turn off notifications for a second while we get started. But apologies for not streaming my rally on Sunday. I got home very late and I thought it's too late to stream it. So apologies for that. But we're here tonight for the all-important one. Before we get started, let's just say hello to a couple of the people in the chat. So the very first in the chat, Simply Pakistani, a very long-serving member of Crest Autosport. So thank you very much. We've also got 24 Mix. That's Antonio Sousa. We've got Marco, of course. We've got Dennis Zukov. We've got Stephen Bailey. Sammy Kakaro. We've got Dan Elliott. Vahima. We've got Patrick Catania. Pavel Cass. Peter Gordon. We've got some new drivers as well. Rafael Cux. Adri Miguel. Our outgoing... Well, not outgoing. Heading into the season, champion is Adri Miguel. Max Arek, Stephen de Gravelia, Binu C, Jao Sousa, Mingodrim. We'll mention more about him in a moment. Marcio Morales. Thank you very much, guys, for coming along. We're up to 38 viewers now. Right, okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of it then. Let's find out what's going to happen in tonight's live stream. But first of all, I need to move the webcam because I've just realized I've set it up there right in front of where all the information is going to be. So, this is going to be a nice seamless transition, isn't it? Oh, there he is. Okay, so let's cue some music first of all, get that going in the background here. But right, so tonight is draft day. So essentially what this is a little bit like the NBA or American sports, where they announce in America players going to certain teams, don't they? Well, for us it's similar in that drivers are going to be representing certain drivers from the real-life era that we are using. That was the premise set out from the very start of the Sim Rally Masters, is this was going to be a little bit of a dress-up league, I suppose, where you guys are representing the legends that we all admire from rallying history. We've done we're on our third season now. Our first season was 1997 to 2003, where we had the Solbergs, Richard Burns, Tommy Mackinnons, Colin McRae, Carlos Sainz, other drivers like Alistair McRae. And then our second season did a little bit different. We had one which was a little bit similar to season 1, where we were representing drivers from WRC 2017 to 2021. So we had Ogier, Tanak, Neuville, Elvin Evans, Estepak Alapi, etc. And we also had a European Sim Rally Championship, which was a bit more of your generic league, where it was just a bit of a playoff of the European Rally Championship. But we're back to the old format of the Sim Rally Masters, and we are going to be representing 1987 to 1993, which was the starting era of Group A, really, and post Group B, where Group B was like, okay, this is getting too far, let's calm things down and make things a little bit more regulated. Did take a few years of repairs still into the 80s, into the Group A era to sort that out. But that's the era we've been doing this time, and that is what we pride ourselves on at the Sim Rally Masters. You guys are representing the drivers, and you are recreating history, effectively, in the form of virtual racing, virtual rallying. And first of all, before we get started, we've got the season starting in 1 week time, 2 weeks time, just over a week's time. We're starting at Monte Carlo next week. And why not get subscribed to us on Twitch? One, it helps out the channel massively. But two, you get a very, very good advantage from this. You actually will get to see the itineraries 1 week earlier than all the other competitors who are not paid subscribers will. And if you want to do that, you can. There's no obligation to do so. You can. But essentially, you get to see the itinerary a week early. So there are drivers out there who have already seen the stages they're going to be taking on for Monte Carlo. And Sweden will be made available to them. Excuse me, Sweden will be made available to them on Thursday, actually. So, up to you if you want to. Don't have to, but it does help us out quite a bit. It means that the more money we're receiving into Crest Autosport, the more gets put into Crest Autosport, the more things we can do. Okay, so a little bit more pre-rep work before we get on with it. So that was meant to be dates, but let's see the calendar for the season we've got ahead of us. There we go. So we will be updating this poster very, very shortly, actually. We'll update it in the week building up to Monte Carlo. We were setting this up to have Group B and Group A, but we have eliminated Group B from it because we didn't get enough drivers entered into it, but we have got a very near full grid, basically a 98% full grid for Group A as we head into this. So it is one championship, just Group A, and they're the rallies we're going to be taking on. We're going to be starting off the Monte Carlo rally for round 1 of the championship, and then round 2 we'll be heading over to Sweden, the only snow rally of the season, well, the only dedicated snow rally of the season. Portugal and Kenya would be next, the rough rallies that they are. Then we've got the first all-tarmac rally of the season, Corsica, then a dusty Acropolis rally. Then we're heading over the other side of the world to New Zealand, and then over to Rally Argentina. Finland hosts round 9, and then a new rally for Crest Autosport. Kind of. We have hosted it in the past, but not to the extent that we're going to this season. The Rally Côte d'Ivoire rally, the Ivory Coast rally. That's going to be a good one. And then we've got some special events coming up after that as well. We've got 2 San Remo rallies and 2 RAC rallies. And the reason we've done that is because we couldn't really decide between locations on RAC, and we couldn't really decide between tarmac or gravel for San Remo. So we're going to do both. They're all separate rallies, so you score points for each of those individual rallies. And yeah, 12 of the 14 rounds will count. So essentially, if you need to go on holiday for 2 rounds, you can. So that's our calendar that awaits us this season. Thank you, Sammy, for becoming a Tier 1 subscriber. Thank you very much, mate. Very nice of you indeed. Okay, so with our rallies, they typically take about 1 to 2 hours to complete our rallies. So this is in the rules, a lot of this stuff that I'm repeating here, but it's just to give you guys upfront information. But yeah, every rally will take about 1 to 2 hours to complete. There's normally about 8 or 9 or 10 stages in each rally. And these rallies this season, because of the nature of Group A, they will be a little bit longer in distance than our previous seasons. So these rallies, well, our shortest rally, because we've already set up the itineraries, we've already got them ready. 85 kilometers is the shortest rally in terms of distance, and 150 kilometers is the longest, which where's your guess which rally that is? So yeah, the only rules attached to this that I haven't put on the screen here is it does iterate in the rules that you must complete your rally in 1 sitting. So once you start the rally, please complete the rally in 1 sitting. It basically means you're going to receive less accusations of going away and testing and then coming back to the rally, which is not that fun anyway. It doesn't really align to our values anyway. So yeah, what I'm basically saying is go and read the rule book before taking part in our league. You probably should have read it already, but you know, some exceptions, isn't there? Right. So more into the information about the draft and that sort of thing. So something else that will come out of today, which you are kind of aware of already because it was published yesterday, was categories. So at Crest Autosport, and quite a lot of leagues actually in sim racing and sim rally, is we split our field into 4, and essentially it's 4 skill categories. So whether you're a driver who's really inexperienced with rally and you're just doing it for a little bit of fun, or you are someone who goes for the leaderboards and wants to win every rally and wants to beat everyone, this league is for you no matter what skill you are. Essentially, we want that any driver can compete for a win in any rally, as long as you put your heart into it, essentially. That's the inclusivity we're trying to go for here. On the more technicalities of categories, we have had them from previous seasons. We've had CA1 to CA4 for quite a lot. We've had CA1, CA2, CA3, CA4 for quite a long time. And we've carried over the same categories from last season to this season. There's only a few that have changed, either because we've had to redistribute some drivers into other categories for today's draft, but additionally some drivers will promote to higher categories by success from previous seasons, or they'll relegate down based on falling behind in the standings, and that category they were in was not quite right for them, perhaps. So yeah, you'll see your name against the category when we reveal what car and what driver you'll be representing, but you can also see in the entry list on our website which category you are in, and essentially that's the championship you're fighting for. Okay, so the way points are going to work, so talking about championships, we did initially set out to do a very similar point scheme to Group A of the era, but we realised it was because there's 24 drivers essentially in every category, 10 drivers scoring would have been too little. So we stretched it up to 15, but it still means you have to push for you still have to push for a good point scoring position. Now we've got a hype train going on Twitch. I think that's our first ever hype train we've got. That's brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, here we go. Japrop, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. Very much appreciated. Yeah, we've got a hype train going. That's awesome. Never had that. I feel like a proper streamer now. So yeah, first place gets 25 points, similar to real life WRC actually. But yeah, it runs down to 15th place. G Hoover, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. You guys are gonna get to see the Monte Carlo itinerary tonight. So, something new that's coming to this season, and I've just revealed it very, very early there, forgetting what it was, but something we're bringing in. It's not the biggest and most exciting feature in the world, but it's just a little bit of fun here. In the 2 days before a rally, so Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be opening up the club to you guys to just do unofficial testing in a very slow crap car, where you can test the route. You can basically drive through the routes, you can have your own testing, you can see the conditions of the rally, see the road conditions, and you can learn the routes. So you can, essentially we're going to be doing that like a shakedown, but not quite like a shakedown, before each rally. So that's one of the new things that's coming along to this season. And the last thing we're going to mention before we get into more of the nitty-gritty is it is highly recommended that you are a member of our Discord. The reason is it's far easier for us to share communications and to share assets like logos and mods and that sort of thing. It's far easier for us to do that on Discord, because Facebook is becoming less and less of a useful tool for us to use. We'll still use the Facebook group, but I would highly recommend Discord. It's far easier to navigate everything you need, like links to the website, and it's much easier for us to do announcements as well. So yeah, if you type !Discord into the chat, it should give you a Discord link. Whether it will or not, we'll have to see. Okay, so we're going to start getting towards the draft now. It's not too far away, guys. But there are a few more things we need to mention before we get started. Okay, so there is ground rules here, okay, and there always is with these draft days. And this one is very, very simple. If you are in a car or assigned to a driver that you didn't think you were going to get, please don't give us any abuse. Now, we haven't had any in the 2 seasons we've already done. But if you are not 100% happy, it's not the end of the world, okay? There are options that you have, whether that be trading, which we'll talk about in a moment, or if a seat becomes available, you can vacate to that. There's other options down the line, should you not be happy with what you're assigned tonight. We'll explain the mechanics behind the draft shortly, but we have tried to do this as fairly as possible. There's got to be some subjectivity involved. But we have tried to do this as well as possible, as fair as possible as well. So, don't be a knob. Right, okay. You should all be aware of this, but these are the 4 cars that are available in this season. So, it's 4 out of 5 Group A cars. The Subaru Impreza, you should be aware, is not available in this season, because that came along late 1993, and we're covering the era before that. So it is the Ford Escort RS Cosworth, fantastic car. The Lancia Delta HF Integrale, which is probably the most iconic Group A car, maybe along with the Celica. I wish we had the Celica, but hey-ho. The Mitsubishi Galant, which is quite a nice surprise to this game, actually, when it came along. And the Subaru Legacy, which is the birth of Subaru, really. But we've got 4 iconic cars to choose from, and we've stretched them across 6 manufacturers. So essentially, we are dressing the Lancia like a Mazda as well, and we are dressing the Subaru like an Audi. You would have seen that from some of the announcements we've made and some of the stuff in the rules. Okay, so the way ranking works, that was with an R, by the way. You have been competing in the pre-season rallies, the qualifiers, and essentially that is the decider for your position in the draft, essentially. The better you do, the better the driver you're going to represent. It's not the better the car that you drive, it's certainly not that. It is the luck of the driver that you are drawn. The better drivers in each category will most likely represent the likes of Juha Kankkunen, Miki Biasian, Carlos Sainz, etc. And the drivers that have not done so good in their category will represent the drivers that didn't quite score highly in our system that basically ranked all these drivers. So it'd be the likes of Rudy Stoll and Per Eklund, Andrea Rugini, etc, etc. But yeah, it's mostly based on how you've performed in pre-season, decides where you go. It's mostly based on that, but there's a little bit of flexibility involved as well, which we'll go into very shortly. But essentially, we'll go through the drivers shortly that can be represented. You probably or are already aware of that, but we'll go through it again one last time. And the deciding factors in what puts you in your seat, it's largely based off the best sim rally drivers represent the best real-life drivers. So Juha Kankkunen being one of the best, as I mentioned. We've also taken nationality into account, so where there are potential matches for nationality drivers, we've tried to pair them up as well. So we try to pair up Finnish drivers with Finnish drivers, and Spanish drivers with Spanish drivers, British drivers with British drivers, French with French drivers. You know, we've tried to do that a little bit, just to make it a little bit more authentic. You guys on the sign-up form, let us know who your favourite drivers are, and who are the drivers you would like to represent. We've taken that into account to an extent, and also attendance is another thing. So if you've said you're a part-timer in the series, we are going to probably put you into a slot that's more of a part-timer from the Group A era. But pace has been priority here, so the faster you are, the better the driver you represent. That's been 85% of what's decided this draft. And in terms of sorting those real-life drivers from 1 to 24, we used a little point system here where we counted up how many championships each driver earned, how many first-place finishes they got within the era, same with podiums, same with points finishes, and the same with championships pre- or post-era. So any championships they got before 1987 counted as points, and any championships they got after 1993, like Tommy Mackinnon, for example, would get points as well. And the same goes for wins pre-era as well. It appreciates legacy in that sense. Okay. So these are the drivers that can be represented. So this is starting from 24 going up to 13. So lowest rank there, but no reflection on his ability at all. Malcolm Wilson was the lesser experienced driver, I would say, in WRC. He only really did certain rallies like RAC and New Zealand. His notable achievement being 1989 New Zealand and 1993 RAC, where he got podiums. But other drivers are Per Eklund in the Subaru, Rudy Stoll in the Audi 200, Andrea Regini in the Lancia, Kenhiro Shinazuka in the Mitsubishi Galant, Inver Carlson in the Mazda, Bruno Sabi in the Lancia, Armin Schwartz in the Audi 200, Colin McRae in the Subaru, Michael Eriksson in the Mitsubishi, Alex Fiorio in the Lancia, and Francois Delacour. I was about to say Francois Duval then. Ooh. Yeah, Francois Delacour in the Ford Escort. And of course, from 12th to 1st place, we have got Kenneth Eriksson, Tommy Mackinnon, Timo Salonen, Ari Vatanen, Stig Blomqvist, Hannu Mikkola, Walter Ruhl, Marco Alen, Didier Auriol, Carlos Sainz, Miki Biasion, and Juha Kankkunen. So some big names in this top 12 here, who would go on to be eventual champions and a lot of past champions as well. So they're the drivers that can be represented. And the last thing before we get into the draft, this is the last thing. There is a trade week. Okay, so I mentioned it briefly earlier, but essentially after tonight, you will be allowed to negotiate your seat with another driver in your category if you want to. Just please do it nicely, politely. But essentially there are rules in the rulebook about trading that you can do between now and the 1st of February. So if you want to swap with any driver in your category, there's no limits to who, it just has to be, if you're a CA2 driver, you must trade with a CA2 driver. You cannot swap to other categories, essentially. But yeah, any driver in your category you can negotiate a trade with. The only thing I ask is once you have agreed the trade, speak to us straight after it. Okay. So, I don't know if we went through that really fast or really slowly then. I'm not entirely sure. I hope that made enough sense to you guys. But yeah, we're about to get into the draft now. We're going to go from drivers 24 to number 1, being last. I'm going to start off from 24, what I mean there. And essentially, these are the drivers, liveries, and cars we have assigned you for the season. There's 4 drivers, give or take, representing each of the real-life drivers. There's only 2 blank spots across the whole draft. So, of the 96 slots we could have had, we filled 94 of them. So that essentially means 94 drivers took part in pre-season, which is excellent. Excellent. I think that is our highest percentage of participation in pre-season in the Masters so far. I think we had 82% last year, and we had 95% in Season 1. So we hit 98-ish%. So thank you guys. Well done. So you're all having a chat about VR in there. In the chat there. Right. Should we get started? Or should we leave you waiting a little bit longer? Is the hype train still going? Complete at level 1. 94%. Oh, we gave it a good go. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for getting that hype train going. Yeah, our first one ever. That's brilliant. Right. Let's get started. So, we're going to start off with Malcolm Wilson. And this will be representing the Ford Motor Company team, driving the Ford Escort RS Cosworth. Mangodrium's created a livery, but it's also a default in-game livery as well, livery slot number 2. But representing Malcolm Wilson in Season 3 of the Sim Rally Masters will be in CA1, Vahahima, in CA2, Sam James, in CA3, George Buckley, and in CA4, Mark Wilson. A near all British lineup in this one, coincidentally. But yeah, you guys will be representing Malcolm Wilson in the beautiful Michelin Pilot livery there. Absolutely awesome livery. But yeah, congratulations to you guys for getting that slot, number 24 on the list here. Okay, next we are on to number 23, which is Per Eklund. And Per Eklund drives the Subaru Legacy for the Subaru Rally team. And it is a slightly unique livery in that it's yellow. But the drivers who will be representing Per Eklund in Season 3... I'll come back to your comment in a sec, George. You're wrong, actually. I'll come back to your comment. Per Eklund representing them will be Effiga Hoshi in CA1. Ondrej Jabruski, who is a former champion, actually, will be in CA2. Simply Pakistani in CA3. And Marco Borti in CA4. Now, I'm just going to mention, if you are at the bottom of this list or you are in this region of the list, it doesn't necessarily mean you were the slowest in your category. Remember, part-timers have been put into the lower slots. So there's a lot of that behind that. Okay, so George, you were not the slowest in CA3. You were not. Just believe me. Yes, you are part-time, and that's why you got put there. But yeah, there are drivers representing Per Eklund for the season in the beautiful yellow Subaru Legacy there. Moving on to another Subaru Legacy, but this one is painted like an Audi 200, representing Rudy Stoll in the Audi Sport team. Number 22 in our draft. We've got 3 drivers in here in CA1. It will be Radek Borek. In CA2, it will be Soini Limatainen. I think that's how you say that. I apologise. No one in CA3. Oh, you got adverts. Oh, okay. And in CA4 will be Felipe Oliveira. So they're the drivers who will represent Rudy Stoll in number 22 in the Audi 200. Number 21 next. And this is Andrea Aguina. That's Aguina? Andrea Aguini. What am I doing? Call myself a commentator. Andrea Aguini in the Lancia. This is the Martini Lancia 90s team, this will be. And Andrea Aguini won the 1992 San Remo Rally. So I think this is the first of our winners, I believe, we're looking at here. But representing Andrea Aguini will be Sergio Rubio Garcia in CA1. In CA2 will be Luca de Regibus. CA3 will be Rodrigo Portugal. And CA4 will be Klaus Schwantes. And I'm just going to mention, Klaus Schwantes could not compete in the pre-season rallies. He is very ill in hospital at the moment. So I speak on behalf of everyone when we say speedy recovery to Klaus. And hopefully he will return for Monte Carlo and be back on the stages with us, setting ballistic stage times. So, yeah, see you soon, Klaus. Okay, so that's number 21 of our list, representing Andrea Aguini. Next up, we have got Kenjiro Shinazuka. Now, Kenjiro was very, very famous for winning the 1991 and the 1992 Côte d'Ivoire Rally in the Mitsubishi Galant, and that is the car that he is in this league. And Kenjiro died a few years ago, and I remember we hosted in this game, actually, we hosted a tribute to him using Pacifico as the fake location, if you want to say that. But yeah, it was a lovely tribute to him that lots of drivers participated in. But the drivers who will be representing this legend at number 20 will be João Mendes in CA1. No one in CA2 at the moment. Paulo Silva in CA3 and Lucas Avcentio in CA4. You'll be driving that Mitsubishi Galant. And see if you can grab yourselves a Côte d'Ivoire win to represent Shinazuka later on in the season. Up next, we've got number 19, which is one of my favourite numbers. But this driver will be Ingvar Carlsen, and this will be in the Mazda 323. So it's a Lancia Delta dressed up as a Mazda 323. Ingvar Carlsson won the 1989 Sweden and New Zealand rally, not in a Mazda, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. I've got a few notes written down here, and they're not that detailed. But yeah, representing Ingvar Carlsson at rank number 19 will be in CA1, Denis Zukov, who is a former CA3 champion in the Sim Rally Masters. We have got Craig Milner in the CA2 category. A former CA4 champion, Reef Kermer, is in CA3 now, and Alan McCain will represent Ingvar Carlsson in the CA4 category. Okay, so that's the first of our Mazdas on the list. And by the way, thank you to Mengodrium for doing quite a few liveries for this mod as well, including these custom Mazda and Audi liveries. Up next, we have got Bruno Sabi, and Bruno won the 1988 Monte Carlo Rally during this era, and he will be driving the Lancia Delta Integrale. There's quite a few Lancias, obviously. But representing Bruno Sabi will be the following drivers. In CA1, Stephen Darcy, French driver representing French driver. There we go. We've also got Leo Bolovan in CA2. In CA3, we have got Adrian Mazurek, and in CA4 is Francis Wim. You will be representing Bruno Sabi in this season, and it is a standard in-game livery for this one, slot number 1 in the Lancia in-game. The Mazda Delta. Or the Lancia 323, one or the other. But yeah, that's the Martini Lancia 80s Bruno Sabi. Number 17 on this list is Armin Schwartz. So this is in the Audi 200, painted onto a Subaru Legacy, obviously. And the drivers who will be representing Armin Schwartz will be... Great comment, Gavin. Great comment. Oshin Hussey in the CA1 category. In CA2 will be Simon Jovi. Jukka Mikkonen will be in the CA3 category, and Stephen de Gravelia in the CA4 category. That's number 17 on our list. Armin Schwartz in the Audi 200s. And I'm quite impressed with how alright that Audi looks on that Subaru Legacy, actually. Right, okay. So next on the list is the big one. So this driver got the most votes for being favoured, right? And remember, only 4 drivers can represent this driver. But up next, we have got Colin McRae. I imagine this is the one that a lot of people have had their sights set on. But Colin McRae is ranked 16 in our list, because at that time, Colin McRae had no accolades, I would say, in WRC to that point. He won the 1993 New Zealand Rally. But that's why he's quite far down on our list here. But I'm sure if it was later on, he'd be much higher, wouldn't it? But the drivers who will be, the lucky drivers who will be representing Colin McRae in this season will be Richard Ballack, who is the last season's WSRC CA2 champion, promoted up to CA1. CA2 will be Mengodrium himself. Drew Buxton will represent Colin McRae in the Subaru Legacy. CA2. In CA3 will be Thanos Giorgio. And in CA4 will be Sebastian Stockbridge, aka Martin Bridge. So, you lucky 4 get the popular one from this crop of drivers. Well done. You get a very, very nice Rothmans livery. I was always a bigger fan of the Rothmans livery on the Formula 1 cars back in the day, from 94 until 97. Yeah, they were awesome liveries, weren't they? Okay, so moving on from Colin McRae, up next is Michael Eriksson in the Mitsubishi Galant, and Michael Eriksson finished 4th in the championship in 1989, and he also picked up wins that year in Rally Argentina and Rally Finland. So a very, very decorated driver, actually, in the Group A era, to get himself ranked number 15 on our list. And the drivers who will be representing Michael Eriksson are Patrick Catania in CA1. In CA2 will be Sam Firsov. In CA3 will be Luca Bortola. And in CA4 will be Marcio Morales. You'll be driving the Mitsubishi Galant for the season. So that's rank number 15 of our list. Moving on to rank number 14 next, which is Alex Fiorio. And Alex Fiorio was furious in seasons 1998 and 1989. He got third in the championship in 88 and second in the championship in 89. No rally wins in this period, I believe, but really good championship results, actually. This is the Jolly Club team, the first Jolly Club we've got on the list, actually. So number 14, representing Alex Fiorio, is not Alex Everett, believe it or not. It is, in CA1, Damien Daniel. In CA2, Frederick Benut. In CA3 is Alfio de Regibus. And in CA4 is Ashley Miles. So congratulations to you four. You've been assigned Alex Fiorio. Up next is number 13, and we're approaching the halfway point now. Just realised the music's off. I'll leave it off. Up next is the second of our 3 Ford Escorts. Now, the Ford Escort was quite a largely favoured car when you all signed up. So you all picked drivers, and a lot of the Ford drivers got picked in this. I'm quite surprised by that. I didn't think the Ford would be that popular, actually. I drove the Ford in a season once, and I didn't like it. But 7-speed gearbox in that Ford Escort, which can be utilised quite well, I think, on the faster rallies like Finland and... Finland. Okay, so Francois Delacour. Me and Marco were talking about this the other day, and he should have won the 1993 WRC Championship. He screwed up at San Remo, I seem to remember, but that season he won at Portugal, his home rally, at Corsica and Spain, and he probably should have won the championship that year. But he didn't. But the drivers who will try and win a championship for him in our virtual season here are Argo Tamayogi in the CA1 category, Natalie Johnson in the CA2 category, Joe Goosens in the CA3 category, and Chris Lemonis in the CA4 category. So congratulations to you four. You got the very fine white and blue livery there of the Ford Escort. And that was ranked number 13. So we're now at the halfway point. We're now moving into the top half of each of the categories. And remember, it's a little bit flexible with the ranks. There's a bit of nationality mixed in with some of these picks, and there's a bit of flexibility in terms of part-time ship and all of that. Okay. Reef Kerma, you've joined us after you got your draft pick. We'll go back through it very shortly. But yeah, Reef, you missed yours. Okay, so up next is Kenneth Eriksson. Kenneth Eriksson in the Mitsubishi Galant. Now, arguably, Kenneth Eriksson probably more popular in the Volkswagen Golf, but we couldn't have that in the season. Believe me, I would have liked to have had H2 front-wheel drive and the H3s in this, but we just couldn't get it to work. It would have been nice to have had some BMWs, Opels, and the Volkswagens from the front-wheel drive. It would have been nice to have had that, but we just couldn't make it work. So we're stuck with the Group A's, I suppose. But Kenneth Eriksson will drive in the Mitsubishi Galant, where he did pick up a win in the International Swedish Rally in 1991. But before that, he got an outright win in the Côte d'Ivoire Rally in 1987 in his Volkswagen Golf. Very decorated driver in this period, but representing Kenneth Eriksson for the season will be Antti Savonen in the CA1 category, Rickard Persson in the CA2 category, Gavin Wakefield in the CA3 category, and in the CA4 category, Adi van Velsen. Incorrect, Pavel, actually. Kenneth Eriksson did drive the Hyundai, but that was in the 2000s, or maybe 1999 that started. Yeah. But yeah, they're the four who will be representing Kenneth Eriksson in the third Mitsubishi Galant of the mix. So let's see if you guys can replicate the Rally Sweden win, or even the Côte d'Ivoire win. The Galant always did good at the Côte d'Ivoire by the looks of it. Right, moving on now. We've got number 11 next. Now, this was a little bit of a wild card pick in our list of drivers that went into this. But Tommi Mäkinen is next on our list. Now, Tommi Mäkinen did sporadic rallies within this era, but he didn't do many. But the reason he's so high on our list is because he eventually got 4 championships, which contributed to points and got him higher up the ranks. But Tommy Mäkinen in 1993 was in the Jolly Club Lancia team on a part-time basis, and he'll be represented in the Jolly Club Racing team here in this championship. He's the 1996 to 1999 champion 4 times, but in 1994, after this era, he did win his first rally, which was at Finland. But he's in this season, and the drivers who will be representing him are Antonio Sousa, Michael Rezniak in the CA2 category, Jacek Rinder in the CA3 category, and Leandro Reino in the CA4 category. You guys will be representing Tommy Mäkinen in the Lancia Delta Jolly Club team. And quite a cool livery, actually, that green livery, it must be said. So congratulations to you 4. Right, we've now got the top 10, and up next is another Mazda Delta, or Mazda Integrale, or Lancia 323, whatever you want to call it. Timo Salonen is up next. Now, probably more famous from the Group B era. Of course, a lot of these drivers are more famous from the Group B era, but they were very much in the Group A era as well. Now, Timo Salonen did win in the Mazda in the 1987 Swedish Rally, and of course, he was the champion in 1985. But representing Timo Salonen in the Mazda 323 is going to be, in the CA1 category, Jose De La Rosa. In CA2 is Janis Vikholm, who is last season's CA3 champion in the WSRC. In CA3 will be João Sousa, and in the CA4 category, Anton Petrov. So well done to you 4. You will be driving the Mazda, the fake Mazda this season, which I will reiterate is only for PC drivers, and that's something we've had to do here. We've had to be flexible with console drivers not being able to use the Mazda or the Audi, so we've had to move them around a little bit for PC drivers to use these liveries. So well done to you 4. You are representing the guy with the yellow sunglasses. Okay. Up next, a very, very big legend indeed. Ari Vatanen is up next, ranked number 4, and Ari Vatanen will be driving the Subaru Legacy Rothmans livery. Now, Ari Vatanen is the 1981 WRC champion. He didn't actually pick up any wins within this era that we're representing here, but he did pick up quite a lot of podium placings across that time, and he was very much a part-timer in that period, but he was still very, very quick. But Ari Vatanen in the Subaru Legacy, who's going to represent him? 4 drivers, and they are Marek Zamorin in the CA1 category. In the CA2 category will be Marcin Kamiński. In the CA3 category will be Gavin Dobbins, and in the CA4 category will be Konrad Harbacek. They were very hard names to pronounce, guys, so thanks for that. But I think I got that right. But Ari Vatanen, represented by those 4 drivers there in the Subaru Legacy. I have pinned the link to the mod in the chat, by the way, if you wanted to get your livery straight away. There is the link to the mod in Discord as well. But yeah, it's there if you guys want it straight away to get started with your nice, shiny new liveries. But up next, we have got rank number 8. And this one is Stig Blomqvist. Now, this one's a bit of a special one because we have no livery for this car, and there's no livery in the game. So how are you going to drive this car? We are entrusting the 4 drivers who have been assigned this driver to do what they want. Stig Blomqvist did use a Ford Sierra quite a bit in the early Group A era. There was a black Texaco livery and a white Texaco livery. There's also the iconic Sierra colours, the white with blue diagonal stripes. You can do what you want as long as it half represents that livery of the time. And please post your screenshots in Discord and on the Facebook group as well to show off your liveries. But we are entrusting you 4 who are going to be representing Stig Blomqvist to be creative with your liveries here. Now, no crudely drawn phalluses on it or anything like that, please. But representing Stig Blomqvist, who, by the way, just to mention his achievements, 1984 WRC champion and 3rd in the 2-wheel drive Sierra in Finland 1987, is these 4 drivers. Stephen Bailey, a former Kit Car CA1 champion in the Sim Rally Masters. In CA2 is John Zhu. In CA3 is Adrian Cooper. And in CA4 is Yanis Sarakis. So you can see I've attempted a livery up there, and it's got me and my wife's names on the window, you can see there. But yeah, that kind of thing. You know, very easy to make that, actually. In my opinion, it was, anyway. But go nuts. Make a fake Texaco livery if you want to. Almost as fake as their fuel. Oh. Moving on. Yeah, that's number 8. Congratulations if you got Stig Blomqvist driving in the fake Sierra. The 4-wheel drive Sierra. Work that one out. Zhao Sousa, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Thank you very much. That takes us up to... How many subs that takes us up to? 8? Yeah, 8 subs now. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. You guys will get to see the Monte Carlo itinerary tonight and the Sweden one on Thursday. So let's move on. Up next, number 7, Hannu Mikkola. So Hannu Mikkola was the 1983 WRC champion, and he also won the Safari Rally in 1987 with an Audi. But in 88, he went on to drive the Mazda. The Mazda was a bit of a boat, let's be honest, and we've put it back to normal. We've put it back to the way it should be, you know, up with the Lancias. But the 4 drivers that will represent Hannu Mikkola in the Mazda 323 will be Peter Gordon in CA1, who is a former champion in CA3, I think. Years and years ago, Peter Gordon was. Might have been CA4. Can't remember. Peter, if you're in the chat, let me know which one it was, because it was so long ago. It's the Dirt Rally 2 days, that was. But yeah, CA1, Peter Gordon. Kev Wilkins in CA2, and in CA3 is Dan Elliott. And in CA4 is Evgeny Sinatov. So congratulations to you 4. You will be representing Hannu Mikkola for the season in the Mazda. Which I do love that livery. I really do love that livery. I kind of wish I landed the Mazda, but hey-ho, hey-ho. Right, up next, big name in rallying this one. Probably not a prominent name in the Group A era, actually, because this person retired in 1987, actually. But we had to put the Audi in. We just had to put the Audi in. And because of that, we had to put this name in. Walter Röhrl is up next, number 6 on our ranking list, the 1980 and 1982 WRC champion, and in 1987 in this Audi got 3rd at the Monte Carlo Rally and 2nd at the Safari Rally. It was CA3, thank you, Peter. Yeah, come a long way since then, haven't we? Right, so representing Walter Röhrl in the Audi painted onto the Subaru Legacy will be the following. We have got Rafał Zurawski. A new driver to the championship who did very well in the qualifiers is in the CA1 category. Robbie Hendrickson in the CA2 category. Thibaut Gurtan in the CA3 category. And in CA4 category is Andreas Spanu. Andrea is a console driver, but Andrea is seriously good at designing liveries, has done the Mazda and has done the Audi, and we have managed to get him into the Audi here. So, yeah, console driver in a non-console livery. I think it might be the first time we've done that, actually. So, yeah, well done to you 4 for representing Walter Röhrl for the season in the Audi 200. We're on to the top 5 now, and guess what? They're all Lancias. But we've got 5 of the bigger names from this era. 3 of them were champions within this era we are doing here. But number 5 on our list is Markku Alén, the 1978 champion, and picked up a few wins in this era. 6 wins within this era he picked up. But yeah, very long career in WRC by this point anyway, but was still going and still winning rallies. So, up next, representing Markku Alén, will be Sami Kukaro in the CA1 champion, who is now a subscriber to the channel. Thank you very much. CA2, Damien Klosek. In CA3 is John Lawrence. And in CA4, my co-admin, Marko Sastamoinen. Yeah, big shoes to fill there, guys. So best of luck. But yeah, Marco Len is the default in-game livery. We haven't got a modded livery, but you can use the in-game livery. It's close enough to a Lancia Martini livery, or you can kind of make your own that's similar to the red Lancia from the time, or just make the Lancia livery. Do what you want. If you are in in-game liveries, you can flex about with the Lancia liveries if you want to. Just try and be as authentic as you can, really, because we're trying to make it representative, I suppose. But yeah, those 4 drivers, well done. You'll be representing Marco Alen. Up next is number 4, and technically, this is the champion to be, because we've looked at 87 to 93, so technically the next season is, and the current season is 1994. So whoever's going to represent Didier Auriol is going to win the championship, and I wonder who that's going to be. The 4 drivers who will represent Didier Auriol and probably won't repeat history from my point of view will be myself in the CA1 category. In CA2 will be Duarte Goncalves, my teammate actually at Crest Autosport. In CA3 will be Pavel Kass, and in CA4 will be Phil Turner. So congratulations to you 3. You, along with me, will be representing Baldy Didier. Well, he wasn't bald at that point, but he nearly was. I've got a bit of a receding hairline going on here. Yeah, you'll be representing Didier Auriol and his lack of hair in this championship. Well done, guys. Let's see what we can do, eh? Right, the final 3. Here we go. These 3 were the only champions from this era, and the first we've got up was, at this point, a double champion in 1990 and 1992. And this one's quite a special one, actually. I'm looking forward to this one, right? Carlos Sainz is number 3 in our list, driving the Jolly Club Lancia Repsol livery, Lancia Delta Integrale. And representing Carlos Sainz will be an all-Spanish lineup, which is insane. And this is the truth. They've landed in those slots by performance. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, representing Carlos Sainz will be Alfonso Garcia in the CA1 category. In the CA2 category, Carlos Alia Gonzalez. In the CA3 category is Osiris Medero Perez. And CA4, one of the longest running members in Crest Autosport, signed up to Season 1 when we were the British Sim Rally Championship in 2017. 9 years ago. Carlos Andrade in the CA4 category. So, well done. Honestly, it landed like that. It's insane. 4 Spanish drivers representing Carlos Sainz. Incredible. Incredible. So, well done, you 4. Vamos. Moving on to number 2 in our list. Mickey Biasion. Now, Mickey Biasion, double champion, back-to-back champion in 1988 and 1989. And his livery that's in this mod is gorgeous. It's the red Lancia that we're using here. But Mickey Biasion's livery in here, made by Amrato 99 on Overtake, but of course put into the mod by Mengodrium as well. Carlos Andrade, thank you for the tier 1 sub. That puts us up to 9. Thank you very much. And maybe he thought, oh, I'll thank Alex for giving me Carlos Sainz there. But yeah, representing Mickey Biasion next in the 2nd rank on our list will be Matthias Deptula, who's a new driver and a very quick driver. Stomped onto this scene here in the preseason qualifiers and is near quickest driver of the lot in the CA1 category there. In CA2 is Francesco Cortigiani. In CA3 is Kaylin Trina. And in CA4 is Anthony Gahoshi. So well done to you 4. You'll be representing Mickey Biasion in that gorgeous, gorgeous red livery there. Okay. So, we've only got one left, guys. Only one left. And that is Juha Kankkunen. 4 World Drivers' Championship in WRC. 3 of which coming from within its era. He was the 1986, 1987, 1991, and 1993 champion. 14 wins within this era, 21 podiums, and was pretty good in the Group B era as well. So, representing Juha Kankkunen and pretty much our fastest drivers in each category across the qualifiers are the following. Last season's WSRC CA1 champion looking to defend his title here in Group A is Adrian Miguel. In CA2, has dropped down from CA1 to CA2, but got off to a very good start in the pre-season rallies, is Lee Perkins in CA2. In CA3, Alexander Gabowski, a very, very high potential driver, was quickest in the qualifiers and quickest in, I think the quickest in CA4 was first or second. Can't quite remember now, actually. Richard Stewart in the CA4 category will represent Juha Kankkunen in the Lancia Delta. Have I spelt Kankkunen wrong there? No, I haven't. I always spell Kankkunen wrong. I'm sure Marco has noticed many times, but I think I've got it right there. But yeah, we have got a previous champion representing Juha Kankkunen. So yeah, look out, everyone. We have got quite a lot of returning champions this season. We've got Adrian Miguel, Marek Zamorin, we've got Denis Zukov, Richard Balak, Andrzej Jabrowski. There are others on the list, but there's 94 names on the list. Yes, that's right, Steve de Grevelia. Yep. The Audi is the Subaru Legacy. You'll need to download the mod, you need to install the livery, and there you go. You're on your way. Okay, so let's just put this on a rotating loop here. If I knew how to. Automagic. There we go. Right, we'll let that on rotate so you can all see. So, there's our drivers representing Malcolm Wilson in the Ford Escort RS Cosworth. And remember, guys, if you are not 100% happy with the car and the driver you've been given, you can now negotiate trades with other drivers. We will publish the list onto the entry list just after this live stream, so you'll be able to see who's representing what driver, and you can see within your category who's representing what driver. Question, will the rallies stages have fog this season? Because we know that on PC you can turn them off. Yeah, let me just remind myself what we've done this season. Let me go take a look. Okay, so essentially, yeah, there is very, very, very little fog this season, and it's because of that. We had problems in the RAC rally where there were accusations thrown around, and we have eliminated it as much as possible, but we have tried to still give difficult weather in a lot of our rallies. So rain is not as much of an issue. So there's a lot of rain in our rallies as well. And we have put more night stages in as well to make it a little bit more difficult, because night stages were a big thing in that era as well. But essentially, guys, this is a good moment to mention the gentleman's agreement. There is one for our league. It's on the rule book, and I am entrusting everyone to read it, and I'm entrusting everyone to abide by it as much as they can. A gentleman's agreement does not mean you have to follow those rules to a T, but we're asking you that out of fairness to other drivers and for the fun of the league, that you will follow the gentleman's agreement as much as you can. This isn't a league where the fastest drivers in the league are the fastest drivers and the best drivers and the most acclaimed and famous drivers in the world. This is just a fun league we're doing that's a little bit serious. There's a good balance between the two, I find. So please read the gentleman's agreement on the rules, which is linked on our website. Question from Gavin. Mods and skins I can get from the Discord channel. Yep, there is a Discord channel or thread, whatever you want to call it, called SRM Liveries. There is a link to the mod in there. I will also be putting some posts out on Discord, which will give you the link to the mod. Yes, Adri, I will upload to YouTube, yes. Yeah, I will do that after the stream. There we go. So I'll leave that on rotate for a little bit. Any questions you guys have got, please let me know in the channel. We have got coming up very, very soon the Monte Carlo Rally. I think, Marco, we're going to host a rally this week. We haven't talked about it much, but we're going to host a rally this week. It's an unofficial one. It gives you an opportunity to drive the cars you've been assigned and just get yourself some pre-event testing. I don't know where we're going to host it, but we'll think about it and we'll let you know. But yeah, we'll host a nice, fun, unofficial rally this week where you can test your cars, and test your liveries, and test the mod. Of course, the mod includes nice custom Crest Autosport and Sim Rally Masters graphics, as well as event logos recreated from that era. But it's a wonderful, wonderful mod made by Mengodrium. And please, when you're on overtake.gg downloading the mod, please also give the mod a review, because that helps Mengodrium, that helps his popularity on the website, and it gets him more downloads and therefore gets him more publicity on the hard work and the great work that he does. I need to get the... Okay, so if your arms are being ripped off in rally, Gavin, that's not a good thing. Really, in rallying, you want your force feedback to be as light as possible, where you can still feel little kinks in the road and ruts in the road and that sort of thing. That's the kind of force feedback you want to go for. Yeah, right, so what else is there to mention? I'm sure we've got stuff to finish off this. Okay, we'll come back to this very, very shortly. Just a reminder of the calendar, everyone. Remember, it's Group A only, not Group B. But this is our calendar. On the 5th of February, which is next week, we are starting at Monte Carlo. You will get the itinerary if you are not subscribed to this channel. If you will get the itinerary on Thursday. And it's Monte Carlo, so you know what to expect. It also comes as a good point to mention that there's some DLC you're going to need. It is in the rules. I haven't mentioned it much in any announcements or anything like that, but it does say in the rules that you will need all the DLC that comes with this game. So if you haven't got it now, I get it. Definitely for the Monte Carlo Rally, and Sweden, and Greece, and Portugal. And of course, there's some liveries in here that you can't use without the mod. Not the mod, DLC. So go get it. It's at 20%, but I still feel like, oh my word. Get it down to 2% then, Gavin. Wow, that's insane. Moses are good, though. Moses are seriously good. If I had disposable income, I would definitely get a top-range Moser wheel. But I have a wife, and I must take her on dates. And holidays. She didn't hear that. Okay. Yeah, so Monte Carlo is coming up next week, everyone. And that's an awesome, awesome rally. I'm looking at the itinerary right now on my screen by there. That's a good rally. That's really good. San Marino 1, can I still do San Marino? Yes. Yes, you can, Duarte. Yeah. So they're two separate rallies. They're not combinations. That's the best way to explain it, I think. Yeah, so you will score points for San Remo 1, and you'll score points for San Remo 2. And the same principle goes for RAC. Are you going to stream the results process like in the past? Yes, Steve, I am. As long as it doesn't clash with anything I'm doing for the band, I will live stream the results. And if I can't do it on a Monday, I'm going to do it on a Tuesday instead. It just means you're going to be waiting a little bit longer for the results. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing those live streams again, because they were really good, weren't they? It was good fun to see the results formed as we went along. It was good chat amongst us. So yeah, it would be good fun to do that again. And I promise we will do as many of these rallies as we can. The only one I'm probably not going to be able to do... Oh, actually, no, Sweden we should be good. Sweden we should be good, because I get back from New York on the Monday after Sweden. So we should at least be able to live stream on the Tuesday. So yeah, to answer your question, Steve. If I bin it on Monty, can I do classic McRae and blame it on spectators throwing snow onto the racing line? Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, it's a very snowy Monte Carlo rally, which kind of gives away what season it's going to be. Another thing it's mentioned in the rules. Another thing I'll mention is there'll be some rallies that will use hardcore damage. There'll be some rallies that don't use hardcore damage, that just use normal damage. The reason we do that is because there's certain rallies where we want to escalate the difficulty a little bit, not just with distance and degradation and that sort of thing. Excuse me. So expect rallies like Monte Carlo, Safari, Cote d'Ivoire, Acropolis. They'll have hardcore damage. But the other rally, there'll be other rallies in here where there won't be, where we'll try and lower the difficulty a little bit so it's a bit more in contrast. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. And yep, glad you're still taking part after all these years, Carlos. I remember our first season doing this. Yeah. Good times, but even better times now. Yeah, look, everyone, I'm very, very excited for the season ahead. I've not really had much hype about Group A in the past, but I must admit this season has got me very, very excited to drive these cars against all you great drivers. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a real mixed bag, actually, because what I've found, we've tested these cars a lot, and there was a lot of uncertainty about some of these cars, because the older cars in the game tend to be, they've got very, very heightened characteristics. But just to give away some of the parts of it, the Lancia is not very good on worn tires. It's really bad on worn tires, actually. And where the Lancia gets its advantage on like the more time trial-y kind of stages, the Tortoise takes the lead, so to speak, later on in the rally. So that's something to look out for on the Lancia. And the Subaru Legacy, good little car, very well balanced car. Mitsubishi's a hard car to drive, I will admit that. But I have seen that Mitsubishi go like the clappers in the right hands. Keep the revs up, is what I would say in the glance. Keep the revs going. And what else we got with the Ford? Yeah, the Ford Escort, 7-speed gearbox, which is going to help it. Let's be honest. So yeah. Yeah, clutch dip, definitely. Yeah, keep the revs high. Use the clutch where you can to get the wheels spinning a bit faster. Absolutely. Right, so let's switch this calendar off so you can see the rotation of all these again. Yeah, the guys who are representing Stig Blomqvist, let's see your liveries when you get them made. That'll be good. You can do whatever Stig Blomqvist Ford livery you want. But yeah, we thought we'd have a little bit of fun with that one this season. One for each day of the week, yeah. Yeah. Okie dokie, right. I think we're going to go through this one more time, and then I think we're going to call it. So I've got a few things to do after the live stream. I'm going to post this onto YouTube, and I will also post the initial announcement of all the cars and drivers that you've all been assigned, and then we'll do some more fancy posts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that in the coming days. But I hope you're all happy with the drivers' cars you've assigned. It's always difficult. It's always difficult with this format of the Sim Rally Masters we're doing because it is pot luck. It really is pot luck. In Season 1, I got the Citroen Xara, and I hate that car so much. But that's what's going to make this interesting. You've got to compete with the machinery you got. And even though I hated that Citroen in Season 1, I want to rally with it. So you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. But yeah, it's nice and fun to represent the real life drivers. It's cool to kind of look at you all as those drivers, kind of, yeah. Work out how to DL the mods and skins. Yep, sure thing. Yeah, look, if anyone needs help with the downloading of the mods and that sort of thing, please let me know. If you go into the livery section on Discord, there is a thread at the very top of the page, I think. It's either the top or the bottom, where it's got instructions on how to create an account in Overtake without paying. That's the important thing. And also how to download liveries and install them. So please use that liveries thread as much as you can. Okay, so we can swap the cars drivers between categories. I'm assuming you mean that from the group only is. Yes, so Pavel, you are a CA3 driver. that means you can only trade with CA3 drivers. And you must report trades to the admins, just so we're aware of who you're representing and we can change all the background stuff. But yeah, as we head into the season, we're going to have nice, cool graphics for the results yet again, rather akin to what they had at the time. We're also going to have some cool graphics that you can use for your live streams, logos, that sort of thing. We'll publish them as each rally comes along. The itineraries will be posted on the website again. And anything that we publish, really, any images, that sort of thing, you can use them for social media if you want to. Any images, you can do that. You just go for it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more of that this season, because I think we bit off far more than we could chew last season. We did too much and it was a bit too busy, whereas this season we can focus here. We can, do some real cool stuff. And because of all the subscribers we got, it gets even better. So we'll see what we can do with that extra income we got coming in. I'm just going to say now, thank you to all the subscribers tonight. Thank you to all the new followers tonight. We started off tonight with 339 followers. We're now up to 346 on Twitch, that is. And we started off with 5 subscribers, now on 8 or 9. They're small number increases, but they're big increases in terms of the Twitch world. So thank you very much, guys. And it's a big viewership live stream tonight, which also helps us. So thank you very much, guys. Looking forward to the season, everyone. It's going to be absolutely awesome, in my opinion. Monte Carlo is going to be a tough rally. And then Sweden after that. It's probably one of the harder Sweden rallies we've hosted, actually. So we'll see how it goes. Right, is there any more questions, guys, before we cut it all off? What we will do one final time is run back through all of these. So let's just make a stop to that. Restart. So, Malcolm Wilson in the Ford Escort, those 4 drivers. Michelin Pilot livery. In the Clarion Camel Yellow livery in the Subaru Legacy, representing Per Eklund. Rudy Stoll in the Audi 200. Representing Andrea Aghini in the Lancia Delta. Representing Kenjiro Shinazuka in the Mitsubishi Galant. Representing Ingvar Carlsson in the Mazda 323 painted onto the Lancia Delta. Representing Bruno Sabi in the Lancia Delta. Representing Armin Schwartz in the Audi 200 painted onto the Subaru Legacy. Representing Colin McRae in the Subaru Legacy. Representing Michael Eriksson in the Mitsubishi Galant. Representing Alex Fiorio in the Jolly Club Lancia Delta. Representing Francois Delacour in the Ford Escort Cosworth. Representing Kenneth Eriksson in the Mitsubishi Galant. Representing Tommy Mackinnon in the Jolly Club Lancia Delta. Representing Timo Salonen in the Mazda 323 painted onto the Lancia Delta. Representing Ari Vatanen in the Subaru Legacy. Representing Stig Blomqvist in the Ford Sierra painted onto the Escort Cosworth. Representing Hannu Mikkola in the Mazda 323 painted onto the Lancia. Representing Walter Roll in the Audi 200. Representing Marco Allen in the Lancia Delta. Representing Didier Auriol in the Lancia Delta. It's me. Representing Carlos Sainz in the Jolly Club Lancia Delta. Representing Mickey Biasion in the Lancia Delta. And finally, representing Juha Kankkunen in the Lancia Delta. Well, everyone, This has been the Sim Rally Masters Season 3 Draft. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and thank you, everyone, for taking part so far. Let's see if anyone quits now. Hopefully not. That's not in line with our gentleman agreement. But, yeah, Monte Carlo starts in 9 days. Yep, 9 days. Looking forward to it very much. Great rally to start the season. We'll see you all there. Discord, open for questioning pretty much. Fire me your questions, as long as it's done politely, of course. If you have any questions about the mod, any questions about livery designs, any questions about itineraries, anything about trades, just let me know. We'll do some posts straight after this live stream. But in the meantime, everyone, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the stages. We'll see you on the start line of St. Alban in Monte Carlo. Thank you for watching. Good night.